Alright, boys and girls, we're here for a special two-a-day version, recording back-to-back 5152. And I'm really starting to enjoy this math that we're doing here with our cat and dog daycare. Hashtag dogs are better. Okay. So, remember from yesterday's video that Carlos and Clarita's dad suggested that they get 12 dogs and 12 cat kennels. Remember, we're calling the dog runs. And Carson, how much did each one cost? So the cat was $32, and the dog was $80. Okay. So what if we did 12C plus 12D? Where C equals 32 and D equals 80. Okay? Can you do that in your calculator for me? What would that cost? Yeah, that's going to get confusing. 12, what is it? 44? Okay. Now, what's the problem with that? It's more than they have. Now, many businesses are started on a credit line. So sometimes people start businesses without having any money up front, but then all the money you make goes back to paying not only your debt, but also oh my gosh. Anyway. The interest that is on that loan, okay? All right, here we go. So, that pretty much takes care of that first page. Now it says find 5 more combinations of cats and dogs that would be too big. Okay? So let's have it be whoa. So let's have it be C, comma, D, like X, comma, Y, okay? And what do we want it to be? Okay, so what would that be? So if you had 1 cat and 20 dogs, it'd be 1632. And that's too much. Let's give me another one that won't work. 20 cats. We got and 30 dogs. How much would that cost? So we're doing 20 times 32 plus 30 times 80. And that's fine, because they just want things that don't work. So let's speed up. Let's not even put them in our calculator. 100 cats and 100 dogs, that won't work. Okay? What else won't work? Negative 1 dog. 1 dead dog. Negative 1 cat. Sure, that just doesn't make sense with the domain of the problem. Dang it. That won't work. Okay, now it wants us to plot all of these on some coordinate. So let's do this. Let's do 10, 20, 10, 20. We're just going to kind of estimate these, okay, Carson? All right, and this is your cat axis, and this is your dog axis. All right, so some ones that didn't work. 1 cat, comma 20. That one didn't work. We're going to do all these in blue. Blue ones do not work. 20, comma 30. 20 cats and 30 dogs. That would be up here. That would not work. Okay? 100 times 100 is off the screen. It doesn't work. Negative 1 comma negative 100 is off the screen. That doesn't work. And let's just say this one probably wouldn't work, and that one probably wouldn't work, and that one probably wouldn't work. Okay? All right, now let's find combinations of cat and dogs that would not be too big. Okay? And let's plot them. So let's just do this quicker. Five cats and 1 dog. Right? That would be cheap enough. What else? 10 cats and 3 dogs. That would work. I agree. Okay. Whoa. ViewSonic. It's back. 10 cats, 0 dogs. That would certainly not be too much. Okay, give me another one. You sure about that? Let's just check it. No big deal. 10 times 80 is 800. So that gives you 960. So that does work. 5 comma 10 works. Okay, and give me one more that works, Carson. Maybe another one. Okay, so now number 3 is going to be the hard part. But you can already start to kind of see that the blue dots are in one location and the red dots are in a different location. Okay? Find 5 combinations of cats and dogs that would be just right, Hansel and Gretel. Okay? Based on the startup constraint. That is, find combinations of cat pens and dog runs that would cost exactly $12.80. So 32C plus 80D equals $12.80. All right? How are you going to do this? All right, so let's what if we solve this equation for one of our other ones? Okay, so we're going to solve it for D. Okay? And you get 80D equals 1280 minus 32C. Divide each side by 80. And you get to find out the number of dogs that we have. Man, we're running out of room. $12.80 minus 32C divided by 80. Okay, so now what we're going to do is pick a value for C. Okay? So if we had 1 cat, let's do these in black. Okay? If we had 1 cat, well, how many dogs will we have? You just do 1280 minus 32 equals, and then divide by 80. You get a decimal, right? So that's not going to work. So we're going to have to think about some good values of C to type in.
What about like 2?
I don't know. You want to try 2?
Yeah.
Okay, he's going to try 2 now. So what about, I think we should get rid of, I think we should make it a 5. Multiples of 5 and 10 are our best chance here. So let's try a 5. What'd you get?
Or 14.
All right, so 5 dogs and 14 cats will work. All right, now let's try a 10, Carson. We're trying to keep decimals out of our dog answer. 10, comma 12.
Yeah, so we just like, do we need this to be right with the math? Like,
10, comma 12. So this one's a little... Okay?
Mr. Dillon, if we did 15, would we have 10 dogs?
Let's go for 15. He's thinking, will there be 10 dogs? You got to be right. It's got to be right. Look at that pattern. Is it 10?
10. You don't even need
So Carson's seeing the pattern. That's really what math is about. 15, comma 10. Okay, the next one, Carson. 20, comma 8. Notice, it stinks getting going in math, but once you do it right, it gets faster. Okay, that's how this whole class works. And finally, hey, why don't we do a 0? Because you know we don't want any cats in our house.
Yeah, we don't like cats. We don't like cats.
So 1280 divided by 80 should be 16. Did you? But look at this unit rate. What's 1280 divided by 80?
1280 divided by 1280.
No, 1280 divided by 80. You're telling me that's a decimal?
No,
16, dog. Follow the pattern. Oh, I like that. I like that. Okay, now, what do you notice about these 3 different collections of points?
cats increase, dogs decrease.
No, the collection of points. The blue ones are all above the black ones. And the blue ones didn't work, right? And the red ones are all below the black ones. And the red ones did work. Okay. Write an equation for the line that passes through the points representing the combination of... Oh, we already did that. That's great. Now here, let's simplify this thing now. So, can you do, as a decimal, negative 32 divided by 80? Okay, now we don't typically write equations like that. We usually write them as y equals mx plus b. Is that how you like to see lines written, Carson?
It doesn't really matter to me.
But that's how I like to see them written. Now look, isn't that what that line looks like?
Exactly.
What's the intercept?
0.4
No, what's the intercept? And what's the slope?
plus 4.
It's negative 0.4. That's what we have there. Okay? Now this stuff is starting to make sense to me. Okay. Now, they don't have to spend all of their money on cats and dogs. Okay? So shade all of the points that satisfy the startup constraints. That's how you shade on a graph. Okay? All of those points we can do. Write a mathematical rule to represent the points shaded in number 6. That is, write an inequality. Okay? I want to write 2 of them.
So I want to write one.
One, I'm going to write in this form, because I think that makes a lot of sense.
So would you write like the number like dogs that you could maximum less than or equal
No.
to?
So, $32 times each cat plus $80 times each dog run has to be less than $12.80. Or we could go back to when we solved it for D, and we can say D has to be less than $12.80 minus 32C divided by 80. Finally, I would also take that D is less than or equal to, I guess, or equal to, right? So we can be equal to that. And that was negative 0.4C plus 16. All of those are correct. Okay?
Oh, you only have to write one of them.
Yeah, and only one of them. Any one of those would be correct. In addition to startup costs, Carlos needs to consider how much space he has available. So it's 6 square feet of space for cats and 24 square feet of space for dogs. And they only have 360. Write an inequality for the space constraint. So, 6C, right? Cat. 6 cat.
But don't we need to square it first?
No, we don't have to square it. Square feet is just a unit. It's not telling you to square the 6. The square feet is a measurement of space. Okay? So 6 times the amount of cat runs, or cat plus what? 24 times the amount of dogs must be less than or equal to what's our square footage? And we're just going to do that one time. You could have done it like that, or like that. I think that one was the easiest. What do you think? What recommendation would you give Carlos and Clarita regarding how many cats, how many dogs? Carson, give it to me.
I would recommend double checking your math.
No, give them a recommendation based on the math we did.
I would recommend them to board more dogs.
Carson recommends, come on, give me a real recommendation. I know what, no, give me your recommendation. What do you really want them to do?
16 dogs. And 0 cats. Yes.
Okay? Let's just get out of the cat game all along. Let's just make it a dog thing.
Yeah.
But that may not maximize the profit, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet. And we don't have a good mathematical argument. And we can't convince them. But it is reasonable because it's within the bounds, right? And that's all we're going to do for today. Now, stay tuned. We're about ready to do some of your homework for you. So, we're just going to do the first one of all of these. Determine whether the values are solutions. Identify whether the given points are solutions. So, in 1A, 3 times 2 plus 2 times 4, well, that's 6 plus 8, that's 14, so that doesn't work. 3 times 3 plus 2 times 2, that's 9 plus 4, that's 13, doesn't work. Now let's just do it. So 12 plus 0, that works. 0 plus 12, that works. Okay? C and D are your answers. You'll do that same thing for 2 and 3. Okay? Alright, now we have to solve. Let's not do 4. Let's do an easier one. I mean, a more challenging one. Let's do 5. So, you just solve. 2 times 2 plus 4y equals 8. This is A. Alright? So, 4 plus 4y equals 8. 4y equals 4. Okay? Put in a 0 for x. 2 times 0. This is where a lot of math students will start working on their head, and I want you to know I support that. Mathematicians are efficient. They border on being lazy. You want to be efficient, but if you get it wrong, then you need to write it out. Do you agree? And you get y is 2, right? Now, I don't know that I did that right, so I'm going to check it. 0 plus 8 is 8. That's how you do that section. We're getting close. We're over 20 minutes. It's okay. We're into the homework. Now, shade this. Graph it. How many answers are there to this inequality? There are infinitely many answers. Excellent, Carson. What's the slope of this line? What's the y-intercept? So, 1, 2, let's do it in blue so we don't confuse the audience. There's our y-intercept. The slope is 3. Go over 1, up 3. Go left 1, go down 3. Left 1, down 3. I really miss my straight edge. All right, now, it says y is less than that line.
So it's all right here, and you just do the one line.
Anything below it, because it's less than.
Yeah.
Now, I always like to test a point to make sure I'm right. We're saying the point 0, 0 works, right?
Yeah.
So, is 0 less than 0 plus 4?
Yeah.
So it does work. So it says give one point that works. Now give me one point that doesn't work, Carson.
We'll do
Just make it obvious.
100.
No, 100 is going to work. How about negative 100? That was weird. Nope.
Yeah, that's negative 296.
So that does not work. Mikey, can I get a boom?
Boom.